I still remember well my speech at the World Economic Forum in 1999. In those early days, the relationship between the United Nations and the private sector was one of mutual suspicion. Today, thanks in no small part to the Global Compact, business accepts the United Nations as a partner. At the same time, the Global Compact also brought about a historic change within the United Nations. Indeed, today, the UN increasingly understands that working with the private sector is an essential element in tackling poverty, climate change, and virtually every other major challenge we face.
As a company, we are constantly faced with more and more complex dilemmas. We have to ask ourselves all the time, how well are we doing when we compare our actions to the principles that we have actually committed ourselves to?
The purpose of the game is in an easy, fun and in an interactive way to train people about the 10 principles in the Global Compact and how to manage complex dilemmas.
The dilemma game, I think, is very valuable to the Global Compact in a number of different ways. I've seen businessmen and women from many different parts of the world already play this game, and what I see is that it has a very intense interaction among the players and a very intense discussion. The Global Compact has around 90 local networks around the world, and we find the dilemma game especially useful for those local networks. It helps companies to get a deeper understanding of what the principle really mean in practice.
Well, we've distributed the game to all of our business units and they will use them in their implementation efforts. So at this point I know that the game is being played in South Africa, in Brazil, in Panama, in China, and that will continue because it's a really good way to insert some fun and discussion and engagement in a presentation about what sustainability is, what are we going to do about it, which may be a little theoretical, and this is really a practical and down-to-earth way to approach it.
I've actually used the Global Compact recently in recruiting additional companies to the Kenyan network.
Many years helping and assisting companies in developing CSR strategies and thinking about signing the Global Compact, giving me the experience that it can sometimes be very difficult to see how these more abstract principles are turned into concrete action and decisions. And the idea was that that could be done much easier and much more fun and in a much more interactive way through a game. Danish Minister of Foreign Affairs wished to give a present to the UN Global Compact on its 10 years anniversary and have funded the development of the game.
There were a number of key considerations when we were making the game. One was that it was accessible to many, both in different countries and culturally, and also to people who may have corporate responsibility knowledge and those that don't. You don't actually need to know anything about the UN Global Compact or CSR to start playing the game. The dilemmas cover the 4 areas of the UN Global Compact, so that's human rights, labour standards, environment and anti-corruption.
We wanted to give the design a professional and user-friendly appearance, so we selected the colours to match the colours of the UN Global Compact. We also aimed to minimize the use of materials such as glues. The result was a lightweight, environmentally friendly game that's easy to use and easy to recycle.
The dilemmas are collected from experiences. Also, we went to visit Kenya and Bratislava, and we talked with the UN Global Compact members and non-members there and asked them what some of the issues were that they were experiencing.
Very appropriate in addressing real business dilemmas that companies face.
I was involved in development of the UN Global Compact game through organization of the workshop, and this workshop, which took place in Bratislava, was focused on identification of dilemmas from this region.
For Novo Nordisk, stakeholder engagement is one of the key elements of corporate social responsibility. And this game actually provides a platform that you can play out what stakeholder engagement is about. And this is valuable in the sense that we can use it when we want to teach employees dealing with stakeholder engagement.
We think it's great that the dilemma game also includes the MGGs. It's important to understand that the Global Compact is about much more than reducing negative impacts, but looking for ways in which the company can contribute positively to development.
How many people do not have access to safe drinking water? And we think that these kind of informations would inspire people to live up to the principles.
There's no license fee in using the game. The game is made as an open source, so everybody can use it as they see fit.
We think it's a great game, and we could even make it more Novo Nordisk by changing some of the dilemmas into real Novo Nordisk dilemmas and still use the exact same concept.
We sponsored the game because I thought the world needed this game and Maersk needed it, and we're just in a place where we have decided on our sustainability strategy and we're going to implement it, and the game is a great implementation tool.
Nordisk has been a signatory of the UN Global Compact since 2002, and it's natural for us to support a great initiative like this one. Because we do have problems on Earth that needs a joint effort to be solved.
Several hundred copies of the game are being distributed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the UN Global Compact and its regional coordinators, and there's a number of other businesses that have also requested a free copy.
We're also looking at using the Kenya network for sharing platforms with other African countries in the coming year. And the game is one thing. The game is one thing that we like to use.
Everybody wants it, so we are considering ordering more games because it has a real uptake out in the business units in the different countries. So it's not just the headquarter people who likes to play it. It's really the people who have these dilemmas ready in their everyday jobs.
There's also over 7,000 members of the Compact in 130 countries. We've also got names of individual businesses, so we're hoping the game's going to go really global.